every time you're putting something in writing, you need to be a lot more cautious because you cannot take it back at all. This young couple that was married for quite a few years really wanted to enjoy their Christmas vacation. In the chilly New York winter, they decided that they would make a trip to LA, which was warm and sunny even in this November time. And they wanted to take off from both of their work, and they worked hard and took care of all of their backlog so they could take their vacation on time. Now, on the day that they were supposed to start, just about a day before, the wife gets a call urgently saying she needs to redeliver something that created a problem, and she had to take care of it because it was her ownership. And so they decided that she would come the next day, but he would continue and relax in the hotel while waiting for her on that day. And so the husband finally decided to reach the airport, and he reached almost late because they had these discussions, and he had to run towards the gate to be able to board the flight. And as he relaxed in the flight and he reached the hotel, checked in, and their room was at the top penthouse. And as he walked in and sat and looked out the window, he could see the beautiful blue pool way down that was inviting him to go down over there. And so he decided to very quickly go and jump and have a swim. And as he was having that swim in the warm pool water, he suddenly remembered, oh, he was supposed to email his wife, or I am his wife, after he actually reached here, and he had forgotten to do that. And then he realized he'd left his phone up and he could not really IM her. So he quickly donned the robe and walked into the business center of the hotel, opened his email, and very quickly typed off an email to his wife. Unfortunately, he made one small mistake. He made a small typo in the address of the email, and without realizing, sent it off. Now what happens when you make a mistake in the email address? Obviously, it bounces or it goes to the wrong recipient. Now it so happened that this email, instead of his wife, went to the wife of a pastor in a church who had just passed away. And his wife, Dawn, still dressed in black after the funeral, comes back to the church, sits down thinking about her husband and about how much he loved God and hoping that he was with God, opens her inbox and sees the email. She goes through the email and she just faints immediately. The email goes like this. It starts off by saying, "Dearest wife." The subject line had said, "Reach safely," and it says, "Dearest wife, arrived safely." It is very hot here, but it's very relaxing and very refreshing. I had a little problem at the gates, but they finally allowed me inside and I was able to travel without any problems further. I'm really having a great time and I'm looking forward to receive you here tomorrow. Your loving husband. Now, from the perspective of the young man who wrote the email, he was talking about the plane gates. He was talking about reaching safely into LA, and he was talking about that it's so relaxing and waiting for his wife to come there. But for her, who was reading this, arrived safely and a problem with the gates and waiting for you tomorrow seemed like her husband was talking about heaven, and she just fainted. So the message was right, the words were right, the communication was right, everything was perfect, and one small error of going to the wrong person created such a huge mess. And you cannot take it back, you cannot say sorry, and you cannot kind of take care of it, because once you click send on that email, it goes over into the internet and you cannot recall that afterwards, even if you want to make a difference. So before you click the send button, do a quick check, not just the message, not just the subject, but also double check that the email ID that you typed in is the correct recipient who is supposed to get that particular email. This is Revati Turaga from the Leadership Unlocked YouTube channel. Please like, share, subscribe and pass on to others who might benefit from it. Thank you.